want to spend the day lying down and dreaming of a way to get...
Hello friends, Olivia here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing and discussing After Age E. Brown by Talia Hibbert. Okay, so before we get into spoilers, I just want to do a quick summary about what the book is about without no spoilers. So this book is the third book with the Brown sisters. The first one being Get a Life, Chloe Brown. The second one being Take a Hint, Danny Brown. And the last one, After Age E. Brown. So this follows the youngest sister. She's 26, my age, which is pretty awesome. And she is still living with her parents and they want her to find a job that she can stick with and stop, leaving jobs and taking advantage of her privilege of having the money. So they told her, hey, you need to go find a job and you need to stick with it, yada yada. And you have, I think they told her like she has 2 months to live at the house until they kick her out. So, and they would hold off her trust fund. So basically she gets upset, gets in an argument with them, and then she leaves the house and she goes like outside the county because she's just driving. And the first job she sees us is like hiring. She goes in there and she applies. And it's a bed and breakfast, a B&B, that is run by this really handsome 30-year-old guy. So yeah. This is definitely a enemies to lovers book. And I love that trope so much. I just find it so fascinating. I don't know what's about that trope that I love, but I love the enemies to lovers. But yeah, so that's basically what the book is about. But I want to get into spoilers, so yeah, spoilers. Okay, so out of all the Brown sister books, I think this one is my second favorite. Get a Life, Chloe Brown will always be my first favorite. Take a Hint, Danny Brown was so-so for me, but I do appreciate the representation and the representation of anxiety and depression that was like really well handled in that book, and that was like my favorite part about the book. But After Age E. Brown, it's my second favorite because I can relate to Eve being the youngest of my own family and her being the youngest in her family. I totally get feeling like a failure and that everybody's always helping you out. I totally get that. So me and Eve Brown, and she said she was like 26. I was like, so am I. She was just so relatable. Like, I like Danny too. But I feel like out of all of the sisters, Eve Brown was definitely the one that I related to the most. So like I was saying before, she finds this first job that says that they were hiring, and it's like this bread and breakfast. I said it again. Bed and breakfast. I'm just gonna say B&B because I keep on saying bread. But it's at this B&B. And she applies, and like I said, this is an enemies to lovers, and I love enemies to lovers. Okay, so the B&B is run by a 30-year-old named Jacob, and he is super fine, but he's also like super strict and really judgmental. And like I said, this is an enemies to lovers. So they start as enemies because he didn't want to hire her because he's like judging her from like the start when she walks in. And I'm like, boy, stop. And then she leaves and his best friend was like, hey, like you need the help. So we need to hire her because she was applying for the cook position. And she hits him with her car because she backed up into him because he was running to her car. And I believe his arm got broken or something. So that was like the funniest part. So basically she doesn't go home. She basically stays at the B&B. And she's like staying in this guest bedroom that his best friend put her in, which is like right by his bedroom, wink wink. And it is just like they have the funniest like encounters. Like he just doesn't want her there. He does not want her there like at all. And it's just like the funniest thing. I really do enjoy enemies to lovers. I think I said this 100 times already, but I really do. So this was like, I loved it. I was like, ooh, like they were always bickering and arguing. I'm like, yeah, but y'all gonna fall in love. So they would always notice something about each other. Like she noticed that it was like she was like checking him out. She was like, oh, he has a nice ass. Like, oh, he has a nice body. She keeps on looking at his, down parts multiple times. I'm like, girl, stop. But he's also doing the same thing to her. He's looking at her. He's like, oh, she's cute. So these encounters are just so adorable, and I think it was like my favorite part of the book is that like they just kept on lusting after each other, and I'm like, bro, stop. At one point, finally, they become friends, and I think it's one of my favorite parts of the book. They were like in her room listening to music, eating snacks, and it's like the cutest thing in the world, and they're just getting to know each other. And then at one point, I remember oh my god, I was at work when I listened to this part and my AirPod died, and I was like, I had to charge it. I had to know what happens next, because she left her purple dildo in the bed and he found it, and you probably know what's happening. Like, they don't do it, but he does it with them. He does it to her with the dildo. Like, oh my gosh. So the steamy scenes are so, I like them a lot. Like, I wish there's more steamy scenes, but it was actually a really short book. It really was. But so what I'm going to talk about real quick, because I want this to be not like a long review, but a short review about what I liked and what I didn't like. I want to talk about what I didn't like first, because there's only one thing I didn't know. There's two things I didn't like, and they're not bad things. So the first thing I didn't like was that I felt like the book was really short, and I wish we had more time to flesh out their friendship a little bit more, of her staying there at the B&B. That's just my complaint, but I just wish it was a little bit longer. But that's just me. Second complaint, I wish there was more steamy scenes. Oh my god, I just wanted more steamy scenes. Like, I'm just greedy, but I just wanted more steamy scenes. I was like, dang, like, that doesn't take away from my rating, but I was like, that's just the two things I just didn't really, those are only the two issues I had, like, what was wrong with the book for me. But like, they're not big issues. I'm just greedy and I just wanted more. But let's talk about what I did like. Everything off the bat I loved. Everything about this book I loved. Like I said, I can relate to Eve way more than I did with the other sisters, and I feel like that was a part of the reason why I love this book so much. And Jacob's pretty. Oh, he's sexy. Like, this man, I was like, damn, girl, get it. Like, but like, I love the characters. I loved Eve. I loved Jacob. I loved the ending where like her family's like coming to the rescue, and she's like, I'm gonna go tell them I love them. So I'm gonna talk about the conflict, because there's always a conflict, I feel like, in her books after they like do it. I don't know why, but after they do it, there's always like a conflict that happens, and I always know it's coming. So basically the conflict in this one was when she got to after she applied and she went into her car before she, ran him over, she called one of her friends who weren't really her friends, just somebody, who uses her in her friend group, to plan a birthday party, and it was going to be like in 6 months. And so she was going to plan on doing that to earn money and just leave the B&B. So that was her original plan before she fell in love with Jacob. And then he finds out when her family comes to the B&B, and he finds out that she was gonna leave, and then get in a fight, and he tells her to leave. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can get why he would be upset, but still, I was like, bro, like, but then of course he realizes that he needs to go after her, and that's what he does. But so I want to talk about that steamy scene real quick without being so descriptive, so YouTube doesn't get me. But their steamy scene together, you know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. Oof, oh my god, they did it like on his desk. Like, she went out with his best friend's twin sisters. They went to the bar. She didn't drink, but that's when she realized, she was like, I don't care, I want him. She goes back to the B&B, shows up into his office, and she's like, hey, and seduces him. Oh my god, like, that scene was so steamy. I loved it. I was like, they did it. They did it. Oh my god, it's so steamy. But yeah, oof. Overall, I really like this book. And I love Eve and I love the Brown sisters. And I was so excited to read this. I think I finished it within like a day when I first started it. Yeah, I finished it like in a day. And I absolutely love Talia's writing. It's great. And I love the representation, the diversity. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. And she's such a great romance author. And I can't wait for what she's going to do next with her books. Like, I wonder if she's going to do another set of sisters, or I'm not sure what she's going to do next. But whatever she does next, I'm definitely going to buy it and pick it up and read it, because this Brown sister series I absolutely love. Like I said, Danny Brown was like my least favorite, but the other two were just amazing romances. And it's nice seeing a main character who looks like me, you know, with the same complexion. I just love that. And them finding love, because they, you know, finding love in different diverse people. So I just love it. And I really like her books. And the romance is so steamy, and it's just nice seeing somebody who looks like me in those books, and having not just the diversity, but the representation of anxiety and depression, and the feeling that you're not good enough. So I just, 5 stars for me. Wish I could give it more, but 5 stars. I really hope y'all enjoyed this review. Like I said, I really like this book. And it was just so amazing. Like I said, this book wasn't that long, and I feel like I covered most of everything. I guess the last thing I would want to say, it was nice to see all the guys from the other books with their, you know, the other Brown sisters in it. It was just nice to see the whole family in this, and her parents. So I thought it was really cool. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And stay safe out there, guys, and bye.